Yo, what's up? Shoy Carcino here. Let's get into it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. So, Nicki Minaj decided to tell the world all of a sudden out of the blue, and on One Crack News, we just shoot it straight. She decides to tell everybody out of the blue. Guess what, everybody? Out of the blue, surprise, surprise, surprise. I'm dating an ex-con. I'm dating an ex-felon. And she thought that was okay to do. She thought that was what was hot. Nicki Minaj decided that was what was going on in the world today. What's up, Lawrence? So, she's dating Mr. Petty, aka Zoo. Now, what I didn't know is what everybody in the world dug up yesterday. People that was Nicki Minaj fans was having a hard time grasping why are you running after an ex-con who was arrested and for sexual assault back in 94 and pled guilty to it in 95. And it was a child sex assault case. A child sex assault case. And the fans and everybody else dug that information up. He pled guilty to a sexual assault case, and I guess she was underage because it says child assault, sex case. He's a registered sex offender in the city of New York. But that's not what I know Zoo from. Now, Zoo was arrested for manslaughter for his participation or knowledge of manslaughter, where he served 7 years in prison. He's convicted back in 2006. He served 7 years out of a 10-year sentence. He served time for the child sex thing, 18 to 54 months. And this is the guy Nicki said, I want to have a future with and a baby and get booed up with. Like I told you about this thing, man. This industry, this this monkey see, monkey do. Funny, all of this happens once Cardi breaks up with Offset. Think that's coincidence? Cardi breaks up with Offset. All of a sudden, Nicki wants to, oh, I'm in a relationship, y'all. Look at me. It's so pathetic that it's almost shocking. I say it's not shocking. It's almost shocking. I mean, it's one thing to be an ex-con, but it's, child sex offender. That's another. Her brother is gone for this. I mean, your brother is locked up for child sex abuse. You defended him to the end, to no end. Now you dating Zoo, who pled guilty to child sex crime, and has to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. Has to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life, basically. He served time behind that. Now, the manslaughter thing we knew about. The case he had in 2006, he served 7 years for that. But everything else we did. And I'm not saying people can't change their lives around. And I hope he did change his life, and he's no longer that person that he was back then, committing those egregious crimes. We hope he's not that person, and that Nicki sees the good in him, and he's shown her his side that changed, and like, look, I'm not that person no more. I'm not that guy, period. Jerome says, just one question. Why? Well, here it is. It's very simple. Here's what's really going down. Zoo is her bodyguard, quote unquote. That's her protection. Nicki always hung out with some of the grimiest people. She's from Queens. Queens is grimy. And she always hung out with grimy people because they make her feel safe. She dated Meek Mill. Meek Mill, going back and forth with the law, hung out with grimy people. Right? So everywhere she traveled, she had those grimy people around. Even when she was with Safari, the people that was around them were grimy. She'll listen. She'll listen if the command is given by the right person. She'll listen to Zoo. Plus, Zoo always been around. So he was locked up and stuff, but Zoo got a lot of pull. You know, but hey, that's a here nor there. We ain't going into that. But Zoo is somebody she could trust. You know. Whatever he did back in '95, I don't know the situation. We don't. All we know is the charges. So her fans are holding that above her head. Her fans have jumped down her throat. Why, Nicki? Why? They the ones going over the top. While me, I'm like, hey, you the one got to make this decision. It's her career that's on the line. Because him and the girl was both 16. He served time for a sexual assault, child sex assault. Okay, so let me explain to you what he did. He did like 18 to 54 months. That was his sentence. No, he did 4 years for that. Probably. I don't know if he did. He was sentenced in between that. I don't know if he did a whole 4 years. But that was back then. Okay? Then in 2006, that was the manslaughter charge that he served like 6 years for. But the first charge he served time for was the sexual assault case. He has to register as a sex offender right now in the city of New York. So I don't know what you talking about, dude. And I'm just saying, if you're Nicki Minaj agent or anybody manager team or anybody else, you rolling on the floor right now because her career is that's a killer for her career. And I'm saying, she's only doing this because of Offset and Cardi. You know, Offset and Cardi, they got all the press. They got all the headlines. Nicki can't get no headlines. So now it's all about them fighting and breaking up. So she wants to throw a relationship together. So she just grabbed, I'm like, look, do Zoo got any records coming out? What's gonna make people care about him? You know what I'm saying? That's talking about the industry, rather. I'm not dissing the man. I'm just saying, what's gonna make them gravitate to him? This my new boo. He just got out for manslaughter. I mean, what's attractive about that? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he could have changed his ways. He could have learned from his mistakes. He could be a whole different individual than what we reading on the paper. But 9 times out of 10, people are gonna read that paper and say, that's him. And they saying, oh, he turned down $25,000 to do an interview, to do a tell-all about Nicki Minaj. Who wanted to pay him $25,000 for that? What are you gonna tell us? Who would pay $25,000? I'd be like, here's $25, man. What you know about Nicki? $25. That's about all it's worth. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Her brother is locked up for a child sex crime. And here you are dating a guy with a child sex thing. This is bad for your image. When her brother got arrested and she was defending her brother, and people were mad at her for defending her brother in the child sex situation. People were outraged, mad at Nicki. She was like, look, we know that's your brother, Nick. It's child, it's kids. You know, it's kids, Nicki. It's kids involved. They were trying to get her to see the error of her ways. But she didn't. She doubled down. She fought with her brother and sister, but now you're dating a guy with a sexual assault charge who's a registered sex offender. You're openly, publicly saying you're dating this man. So you're supporting another child sex offender. You know how many sponsors are gonna run away from you? That's bad press. That is really bad press. That's so much bad press. Sponsors will run for the hills with this. But I guess this is what you do when it's all over. The desperation moves aren't working. You know, things aren't going right. These are the things that happen. Things get tight. People gotta make moves. I mean, that's not a. I'm quite sure. Nicki is like this. Cardi was dating a dude that's a ex-con too, but that was who she knew before she got on. But Nicki liked dating dangerous people. Some girls are attracted to danger. Girls who are attracted to danger, they do reckless things. I mean, look at me. Meek hung around with dangerous people. It's the same thing. Meek was around dangerous people. So they both was attracted to the danger. You get girls like that. I dated a girl like that. She wanted to see me fighting 1,000 dudes in a bar by myself. I'm like, I ain't coming here to get killed. I'm like, you over here flirting with people and like, look at the way he looking at me. I'm like, you over there flirting with him and walking around. He talking about some let's leave. You ain't gonna say nothing to him? I'm like, I'm gonna go over there by myself. All I got is you. I'm gonna go over there and fight a table of 4 or 5 just because you won't see what I'm gonna do. Are you out your damn mind? Sit your butt right here in this chair and don't you move. Now, if they come over here, then we'll deal with it. But I ain't finna go over there and hey, man, why you stink? Why you want my girl? It's goofy. All girls ask that. You said that's a red flag? All girls ask that. So what would you do? And you'll be surprised. Dudes ask that stuff too. Dude be like, what would you do? If a dude if I get jumped, what would you do? And right then and there, that caused this girl to like leave my boy. He blew it. He blew it before he got a chance to hit. I was trying to warn him. All he had to do was play the role. He had that in the bag. She was like, I didn't know you lived that kind of life. He's like, I'm not saying I live that kind of life. What I'm saying is, what would you do if that was to go down? Would you run, call the cops? What would you? I mean, he was high, and he wanted to apologize to her, but he had already done too much damage in that conversation when they was high and talking on the phone that he just threw her off. Because I'm smart. See, here's the thing. I arrange my time very wisely, so I don't get caught in certain situations where I'm uncomfortable or I'm in a situation where I feel it isn't right. Down, You know, I deal in those cycles. Shenanigans. There they go with the shenanigans. I'll take Scorpion over More Life, but I do like More Life. A lot of songs on there. But I take Pusha for that. Well, John, I didn't know you were looking. Because if you looked, you would have saw me with plenty of them. But if you do, the next video, I'll never see you with a woman. That'd be cool. I'm supposed to see you in my house. In their house. As long as they see me, that's all that matters. Yes, they're both are better than Views. Views is not a great album. It's an okay one, but it's not outstanding. It was very much overrated. Some of the songs felt dated. I wouldn't say it's worse. I don't know. The Take Care album, I wasn't a big fan of it. That was more the R&B side of Drake, and it was only some songs on there I liked, but the rest of it I didn't. I just thought that was way too soft for my taste. You know, there's people that love that album, that love Take Care. Take Care was not my bag. Oh yeah, Marvin Room was the best song on that album. I'm just saying, you could do better. You see, that thing got Common off the couch. Common came out his bag. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. La 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 la. Knew he was old. I bought that album immediately. As soon as I heard that Sweet song. No, John, you have no shot. I'm not going out with no dudes, John, so sorry. You lose. Now, see, the problem with the situation is clear. The problem with the situation is clear. Nicki's gonna have to make some decisions on her career, and that's just that, because this is very damaging to her. Right now, she's not in demand. None of her songs were picked, not one. She put over 20 some records, sent it in for Grammys for Grammy nominations, got nominated for a Grammy. Her album, Queen, all that stuff, man, the Grammys like, look, we ain't listening to this garbage. This album is hot garbage. And they grabbed everything that she had, threw it in there, and she's the pass. And it's all done. I don't even know if she's invited into the doggone Grammys. I think there's a super chat button right there. You can click that super chat button. We on One Crack News. That $ button, bling, and then you can donate. Yeah, I mean, she did it to herself. You can't just take 3-4 years off. Talking about you taking a break. You take a break when you done. You think Drake took 3-4 years off and tried to come back? That's when his fall off would come. You take 3-4 years off hoping that the crowd miss you. Oh, they gonna miss you all right. They clowning her about everything. They finna clown her about this guy she's with. I mean, he's a child sex offender. He has to register as a sex offender. Not to mention, he just got out for manslaughter. And she's parading this guy around like he's a CEO of something. Like he's like the greatest thing ever. Now Zoo, like I'm saying, he could be a whole new person, man. Everybody can change. Everybody can change. But this is bad on you. If this stuff is like saying you're going in for a job interview and you got all this on your resume, it's gonna be quite hard for them to associate their clients. If you're a managerial firm, it's gonna be hard for you to manage a client, and her brother is in jail right now for child sex offense, and she's supporting both. So now it's saying to them, you support child sex abusers. That's what the sponsors are gonna see, and they're gonna run for the hills. Sex offender who served time for being a sex offender and has to register as a sex offender in New York, and who just got out for manslaughter. I'm like, for your career, you're risking it all. I'm like, what? Did she think the people weren't gonna pull this up? As soon as they saw him, the first thing they went to do was pull his file up. But she likes dangerous men. Nicki likes to feel safe, and this guy makes her feel safe. So, that's her protection. All right. Say goodbye to John, all your trolling ways, and goodbye, and enjoy the trolling heavens as we cast you goodbye. People beg for it. I know, just beg for it. I let the guy live as long as he could before we had to cast him out like a bad spell. We let people get a chance. But when you don't have nothing to say and you just keep coming back with just nothing, just dumb stuff, just keep throwing stuff out there. Feel bad for people like that. It's like, man, they have no life or nothing. And they talking about somebody else don't have no life. It's like, dude, what are you doing then? John works. Are you kidding? John is in his mama's house on his mama's Wi-Fi, sitting down there in his drawers with a big gigantic salad bowl full of cereal and milk with a tank top on that he had on for 3 nights in a row. Talking about, Ma, keep it down. Ma, keep it down. Try to focus. No, I think we knew Zoo. If I'm not, man, I'm not real good with names. But I know when I seen his face, I'm like, I've seen this dude before. So I don't know. I might have ran into him before. I checked with some people in New York. Some women love dangerous men. She's from Queens. She always hung out with grimy people. You know what I'm saying? People that was just street. She can't date no doggone CEO of this firm or nothing like that. She ain't like that. You want to have kids with a child sex offender? Come on. About him, another guy. I don't think I know that Campbell dude. I don't. Some people keep sending me this stuff. Like, yo, you don't know him? I'll be like, where would I know him? Yeah, well, it is what it is, man. I'm out.